You spent countless hours in the garage with your dad. Now investing in that old car and working on it with your son reminds you of him. And his legacy lives on. Fund your passion with a low-interest home equity line of credit from Bank of Blue Valley.
Well, you are not Scott.
I am not Scott, but I play him on TV. Look at me.
Hi, who are you?
It's your other partner in crime, Michael Mackey. Hi.
Hi, Michael.
Yeah, we're almost color coordinated. It's like we planned this almost, kind of, sort of.
You know, well, you put a video out. I'm still real bitter about this. We put a video out this week on LinkedIn, and Michael made me stand in front of him. And if you've ever done a video with me, I like to stand behind, and I like to stand on one certain side. And I was on my wrong side, and I was in the front, Michael. So I must really like you.
Wait, I specifically said, what side do you want to be on? You were like, this side. So, but the standing in front, I could have, but I would tower over you. That's my whole thing.
I know.
The video turned out fine. It looks good. So
it's fine. We've just been doing a lot of color coordinating.
Yes, but accidental. I did not plan this purple ensemble today.
So Michael is here because Scott's fancy now. So he's at a big old college speaking to them today.
He's so fancy. You already know.
He's super fancy. But look, we're already getting more comments than if he was here. So I'm going to rub it in his face. Elizabeth said she cannot wait, but she loved our video. Thanks, girl. And Caroline says, excited to be here and hear all the scoop.
Scoop.
Are we. I don't know what the scoop is. I think it's just the scoop because we have a pretty awesome panel today.
We have a very varied panel today. I love how it's just such a mixed bag of people's.
I'm not standing in front though next time. Don't get this wrong.
Duly noted. I will literally cover you up. You can just peek behind me.
Don't think because everybody thinks it was a good video that I'm standing in front. Oh, look. Well, okay, Captain Popularity. Michael Mackey is the best filler inner.
I am a good filler inner. It's become my jam. I've kind of become
Michael.
I'm the everyone's favorite second banana. I'm the Ed McMahon of. I'm never the Johnny Carson. I'm always the Ed McMahon.
Yeah, McMahon. Okay, Michael, 2 seconds. Who are you? What do you do? How do you get to Kansas City? Just for those of the three people that do not know you.
My name is Michael Mackey. I hail from Des Moines, Iowa. I bounced around multiple TV stations here in the metro, and then I ended up here working with you at Lillian James. And let's see, fun fact, I've never seen The Wizard of Oz, even though I live in Kansas.
It's the worst thing when you travel and you say you live in Kansas and everyone does their only reference is The Wizard of Oz.
I know it. I've never seen it. I mean, I know all the pop culture references, like, I'll get you Pretty, My Little Dog too. But I've never seen it. So
my kids were just in it and Devin was the Oz, the actual musical. So look, Michelle says she agrees. You're a great second. Michelle, I'm going to send you an email this week. You've been on my mind. Okay. All right. Well, here's the deal. Well, Michelle and Brad work together, so I was just thinking about it because Brad's on our panel today. Okay, here is the deal. We want to thank Bank of Blue Valley and Burns and McDonnell for letting us do this every week. I don't have any catchy. You know how Scott always like
subtly weaves it in.
Yeah, but you could tell that's what he's like, I've got to get this in. I'm just going to thank them. Bank of Blue Valley and Burns and McDonnell are the best. They've been our sponsor for a long time, and we love them as always.
Thanks,
and okay, so here we are. Oh, look, Amy says, or you say Kansas City and they think that's Kansas. Yes. Well, I do live in Kansas. So then you say Kansas City and then they go, well, Missouri. I've been to Missouri. I've been to St. Louis. And then it's a whole thing. So we should do some serious, when we get clients and they have a brand new industry, they're trying to make an industry or a product. And we're like, that's going to take a lot of education. Right. And then we can start the marketing. We got to do educational marketing. I feel like we should do that about Kansas.
Truth.
Don't you think so? Okay. Nobody cares about us. You guys, we have morning meetings every day at 9 a.m. A whole team of people, and guess who does all the talking? Us two. You and me. Every day.
I usually quiz the rest of the team on what, like what's new, what's like today. Grace got a cat, and I wanted to know more. Grace,
Michael's good for a dad joke every day, which is awesome. How did you say? It's like congrats, but with the cat's name.
I said congratulations on your new cat.
And everybody else on the team is like young and hip, and they're always like, and I laugh every time.
You laugh, but they all went like this.
Okay. And I'm just cracking up at his jokes. I just keep encouraging.
Congratulations, Grace. That was good.
Perfect segue into this music. All right, we got an awesome handle day. I'm going to bring him in. First, we got Celeste.
Celeste.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Excellent.
Hi, kids and campers. We have, like I said, we have such a very varied panel today. I love it. I love it. Okay, I'm literally going to go around the room. You all get the same question to introduce you to all of the viewers. So Celeste, you're the best. It's also ladies first. So Celeste, who are you? What do you do? And how did you get to Kansas City, my dear?
Hey, my name is Celeste Aguirre. I'm the owner of Relief Muscle Manipulation, where I'm also a massage therapist there. And I was born and raised in Kansas City, so I didn't have to do too much, just kind of, make my mom suffer for a few hours, and boom, here I am.
And boom, there you are. What do you what massage techniques do you specialize in?
Oh, we specialize in deep tissue and trigger point release. So we really focus on doing an assessment, creating a treatment plan, and coming up with homework and whatnot to get people to whatever their goals are.
So it's not just the massage, it's like an all-encompassing like wellness, how to feel better, how to,
Yeah, it's very specific. Most people that come seek us out, they probably can't turn their neck or, pull their back getting out of their car and things like that. So you're not very likely to end up with a full body massage on your first few sessions because it's very focused on specific muscles and muscle groups. So it's it goes hand in hand with chiropractic care.
Get it? Hand in hand.
Hand in hand.
Whole massage humor.
Don't do that because you will get me on a laughing roll. My kids, I have the exact same sense of humor with my kids are just like, I don't know how you think you're so funny, Mom.
Right. What do you find most people come in with? Neck, lower back? Like what's the predominant overall like, ow, oh, I'm dying.
The predominant lately has been neck and SI joint issues. So
because people are sitting all day or what?
Yes. With sciatic nerve pain and neck pain are usually the ones that bring people in because, that causes enough pain that they start reaching out to whoever they can.
Girl, you're preaching to the choir. All right. Thank you for chiming in. Up next.
Let me actually jump in here a little bit.
Yes.
Because I've got a couple questions too. Okay. So let's just be honest. I'm just going to I never lie on this show. I'm a massage girl. I love getting massages. I've never had a massage better than Celeste.
Wow.
Celeste got so busy that she's now having to hire and train her own technique because anyone that wants to see Celeste knows right now they wait a little bit, right? To see herself. Celeste, what do you think sets you apart from everybody else that people will wait weeks and weeks and weeks to see you?
Well, I really do feel blessed considering the fact that I worked with chiropractors for about 7.5 years and watched how they treat clients their patients. And I thought to myself, wait a minute, they're doing a full-blown assessment along with a treatment plan. I'm pretty sure we can do that as massage therapists, but with the muscles, not with the bones and joints. So I just kind of honed that technique or, practiced it and eventually opened up my own practice. And now I'm training that same way of working and way of looking at the problem, breaking everything down one area at a time. And that's what we're doing here.
How long have you been doing it again?
Since 2007, so 16 years.
Girl, get it. That's awesome.
And how do you train? I think this is really hard, but I think this is vital information for all sorts of business owners, right? A lot of us start our business because we're really good at a skill set. Mm-hmm. How do you train
Well, I came up with a training manual based on the most common muscles that give the fastest relief. So I made a training manual, and from there, what we do is I give the massage on the air, let's say rotator cuff. So I'll work the rotator cuff muscles and go over what it's supposed to feel like and how you're supposed to check in with the client, because it can get pretty intense. So we'll go over that, and then flip, and the trainee will work on me, and then we'll go over and give, any feedback or anything that needs to be done. And we just do that. So one area can literally take up to 2 hours. So the rotator cuff took about 2 hours to go.
Wow.
So it's that type of training where you just break everything down and take it step by step, and feedback and questions and going over and redoing and things like that.
So you would say, like, if somebody's not in massages, you just take each step of what you do and break it down and really figure out like what it is.
Yes. And yeah, and it's as someone, we talked earlier about how hard it is to quote unquote complain or give some sort of negative feedback, like, or but I have to work really hard on my own because I'm a people pleaser and I don't want to make anyone feel bad. So I really have to work and think, okay, you're not going to help this person by holding back and telling them, actually, you're hitting the wrong muscle, or actually, that's not even, I don't feel anything. So I have to work really hard myself. So I've grown a lot on expressing and, not feeling bad for the person because they're not finding the right area. So it's something that I'm working on too. So it's helping me hone my my skills, I guess, as I grow too.
I love it. Okay, well, make sure if you want to get in with Celeste, I would say
book a month out.
Yes, if you want to get, Ryan is fantastic too. He is booking up too. So while he's still available, I would get in there.
Yeah, because I know that there's a lot of people that know, even if they can't get in with you, anyone that trained by you is going to be above and beyond anyone else here. Also, you know what we forgot to ask, Michael? If you are watching on LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube, please drop it in the comments. There's so many people watching today. It's really exciting. I want to make sure it's the best way to network is me pulling up your stuff right here. And if you have questions as we're going through, please do that, and we'll make sure we pull them up.
Chime in. Up next, we're going to go to Father Justin Mathews. Father, how are you? I need to know the 411. Who are you? What do you do? And more importantly, how did you end up in Kansas City?
I am well and really glad to be with you all today. It's fun. Second time on this show, which is so cool. I didn't screw up so bad the first time that you actually had me back, which is kind of awesome. I grew up in Kansas City, moved away, Dallas, Nashville, New York, and came back to Kansas City. Here I am. My organization that I lead as CEO is Reconciliation Services and Thelma's Kitchen. I also work in Kansas City on a number of other projects, particularly around social entrepreneurship.
Now, I apologize. I've heard of Thelma's Kitchen, but I'm not familiar with it. So enlighten me.
All right, thelmaskitchen.org. We are a social enterprise. So we are a nonprofit catering company and restaurant. The restaurant is going to open again in first quarter next year. We're under construction. So if you have any kind of lunch needs, you're catering a party, you're catering a wedding, you're catering a lunch at your office, whatever, we do it. And so 100% of the proceeds from all of the catering that we do goes to support social and trauma therapy work that we're doing in the community for people who can't afford it on Troost Avenue and in Kansas City.
So you're currently doing the catering and the restaurant will open up.
Correct. The catering is open in full tilt. We are slammed. thelmaskitchen.org. We would love to cater your event. The restaurant, which is where we started, closed due to COVID. And then we took that as an opportunity to completely remodel our building at 31st and Troost. So we're doing this big $15 million renovation of our building, and we cannot wait to get back in there and open up Thelma's Kitchen and move all of our social and trauma therapy work back onto 31st and Troost, where we've been for 30 years.
What are you known for? What is Thelma's Kitchen known for? Is it like comfort food? What is it?
It definitely is comfort food, but it's incredible. The portions are wonderful. It's tasty. Everything is fresh. So when you order it, we're making it fresh that day. So this is, I would put it up against any company in Kansas City. This is literally the best catering in KC. I may be biased, but it's incredible. So give it a try, thelmaskitchen.org.
Do you have a specialty, Father? Like, what is the one thing that I should absolutely get on the catering menu? Like,
okay,
is it mac and cheese? Is it like, what is it?
Yeah, we have a bacon avocado chicken sandwich that is incredible. And that's my favorite. But also our salads are incredible. Our salads are huge and really generous. So I always get a Caesar salad with chicken. I love it. It's great. We're kind of known for our salads also.
You had me at bacon, also avocado, also chicken. So
okay, you gotta try it out.
Okay, I have a business type question here.
Okay.
So everywhere I go, anywhere and everywhere I go, everybody seems to know you, right? And I feel like it just was all of a sudden, everybody knew you a few years ago, and everywhere I went and I turned. What is your secret to networking and growing as big a network as you have, as quickly as you have? And also, I guess, how does the father part of that play into that? Because I think that sometimes, like, I'll see you at a happy hour, right? Or I'll see you at the speakeasy. And sometimes I imagine you get a little bit of pushback, or a little bit of, not even pushback, but like people being a little more timid around you than maybe they are when they see me and Michael in there, right? So how did that play into your networking as well?
Yeah, number one, go on Drinks with Leaders and know Aaron. I mean, if you know Aaron, you know these guys, that's it. That's all you got to do, number one. You know what? I actually really am grateful for the way that Kansas City has embraced me and embraced our work, Reconciliation Services. I really don't think the networking has anything to do with me or something I've done. I think it's the incredible work of our therapists and social workers who work on Truist every day. We serve over 4,000 people a year, and I think people want to be involved in the work of social and economic reconciliation in Kansas City. And if they have a heart for that, they have a heart for healing and helping people, level the playing field so all of our neighbors can participate in our economy and in our community, then I think they want to get to know Reconciliation Services and Thelma's Kitchen. And I think because I've had the privilege and the honor of being the CEO of that for the last 10 years, it's their work that's really given me the opportunity to get to know people. I love social entrepreneurship. So I'm a really weird priest. I have a business degree before a master's degree in divinity. And so I'm an Orthodox Christian priest, which means I'm married. I've got 3 kids and grew up in Kansas City. But the work that I do really focuses on social entrepreneurship. So that's harnessing the best of the business community and the nonprofit community in order to create sustainable, scalable social good in the region. And that has given me the opportunity to work with nonprofit folks, but also business leaders from all over the city. And so I think that it's really important that we do something. It's not enough just to have an intention, a charitable intention, but we've got to remember that it's direction, not intention, that leads to destination. And so I believe that people want to figure out, how do I move beyond charitable intentions to set a direction to make a difference in my life and in my work in a day-to-day basis? And so I also developed an e-course called The Social Leader. It's at thesocialleader.org. And that's an e-course where I teach business professionals how to think with a social entrepreneurial mindset in their daily work, how to become bias aware and trauma informed. So I think it's things like that that's given me the ability to just have such an awesome network of people. You asked about priesthood. To me, this is what the church, I'm a part of the Orthodox Christian Church. This is what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to love God and love our neighbor. And in order to love our neighbor, we've got to make that really practical. We've got to really move beyond, again, intentions and figure out, how do we love people? And so the social services and trauma therapy work and the works of mercy that our organization does, and feeding people through Thelma's Kitchen, that is the work of the church in my mind. And so for me, there's no conflict. I love when people feel like, oh my gosh, why is he here? Why is that guy in the room? I love that, because that cognitive tension creates the opportunity for relationship and for questions. And frankly, I think everybody wants to figure out how to go deeper in their life. And not everybody is somebody that they feel comfortable talking to. So I've been at speakeasies and had deep religious and philosophical conversations. I've been in businesses that are, billion-dollar businesses, and they want to serve the poor. So each of those audiences is a chance to do the work that I do. The struggle is for me, as a leader, how do I keep all those pieces of myself together? And, that's something that I work on. How do I keep all of those as one unified whole, not compartmentalized? But we all deal with that, right?
Yeah.
We all deal with not compartmentalizing. So
I love that. Look, Amy says, Thelma's Kitchen rocks. And Amy's really good at directions because she told us she was watching on LinkedIn. Raquel says she's watching from LinkedIn. And Caroline is watching from LinkedIn. Let us know if you're watching from LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook. Amanda also gave you this heart.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, Michael.
Father, real quick before we move on. First of all, two things. One, the first one, thank you for letting me get a few things off my chest in the confession before we started the show. So thank you for that. And second,
we need more time.
Clearly. And then second, do you have a favorite part of your job? I mean, it's so all encompassing. Do you have a favorite part of it?
So this kind of thing is my favorite. I'm one of those weird people that has no stage fright. So if you gave me no time to prepare and put me on a stage with 1,000 people, I'm at home. I just love that. So that's my favorite. And then second, I'm an entrepreneur at heart, a social entrepreneur. So for me, the work that we do is not really about kind of old school 1950s nonprofit. The work that we're doing, I think, is cutting edge entrepreneurship, and seeing social entrepreneurship as not only the future of nonprofits, but the future of capitalism is really important to me. So anytime I get to work on that, I get fired up.
I got to pull up a couple comments and then we're going to go to Brad. Stephanie says, great panel. Can't wait to try Thelma's Kitchen. And Amanda and I don't know Amanda, but we might be spirit animals. She said, here from LinkedIn, not a church girl, but she'd attend your service. Are you still right here by my house?
So our organization is at 31st and Troost, and I serve at a church that's actually in Overland Park right now, but I fill in all over. And there is a church right near your house that I used to lead full time. This job got to be so much that I couldn't do 2 full-time jobs. So I'm 100% dedicated here. We are going to have a chapel in our new building, which is cool. And anybody who wanted to drop by could do it. We do not proselytize in our work, by the way. We serve anybody and everybody, no matter where you come from. Just because I'm a priest and an Orthodox Christian doesn't mean you have to do that in order to come in and get our services. So I like to make that clear too.
Awesome. All right, look, Michelle is watching on LinkedIn, and that's the perfect time to tee up Brad. Go for it, Michael.
Hey, up next is Brad Holiday. Have you ever been serenaded by Madonna's last name? Holiday. That's fun. Anyway, Brad, who are you? What do you do? And how did you get to Kansas City?
Brad, hold on. You're on mute. There you go. Brad.
How about now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'm Brad Holiday. I'm head of human resources here at SkillPath, and I'm a bit like Father John. I didn't grow up here in Kansas City. I grew up on a dairy farm about 150 miles or so northwest of here. But for us, Kansas City was Mecca. This was where Worlds of Fun was. This is where the Chiefs were, where the Royals were. Many, many years ago, there was a professional basketball team here that we would come down and watch. And of course, back in the day, the Big 8 tournaments and all those things. So this was where we would always come to get away and get excitement. After college, my career took me away from here. And then back in 2010, I came back home, so to speak, to join some friends and be part of a startup company in the healthcare space, in the home infusion space specifically. But that's me, and that's what brought me back to Kansas City.
And how did you end up at SkillPath? What do you do? I know you're a director of human resources, but tell the viewers a little bit more about what SkillPath does.
So SkillPath, we are a global leader in professional development and training. We have a number of different aspects, different ways that we can reach out and help individuals to develop themselves, develop their skills, but then also from a corporate perspective, be able to come in and assist organizations in developing their people and helping them to be the best they can be.
And you guys are located just actually really close to me in Mission. Tell me a little bit about how many employees, and I know that your trainers go all over the world.
Yep, we're about 100 employees, and yep, we're right here at Shawnee Mission Parkway in Metcalf, and our trainers do go all over the world. We have clients that span the globe. Obviously, a heavy presence here in the United States with clients ranging from the federal government to city, local, state governments, and a significant portion of the Fortune 500. So our clients range from the little bitties to the great bigs.
Okay, I have a question about that. So you guys kind of took during COVID, from what I heard, you guys kind of took a strong turn, right? Because your business model changed quite a bit. Where did you change back, or what does it look like pre-COVID versus post-COVID?
Good question.
Sure. Great question. So pre-COVID, SkillPath seminars is how the company has been known historically. In fact, that's still on our letterhead. That's how we are known, really, I think globally. That's how most people would still know us. Public seminars, you go to a hotel, you show up with anywhere from 25 to maybe 150 people. You gather in a ballroom and you have a trainer that sits at the front of that, or stands and roams about at the front of that ballroom, and they present that training material, whether it's 6 hours or whether it's 5 days, depending on that content. That was pre-pandemic. That was probably 90%, 95% of our revenue stream. The pivot that we had to take, obviously, in the midst of the pandemic, when travel shut down, our business stopped. When you can't travel somewhere and the hotels aren't open, we had to find a different way to deliver that content. And so we began leveraging technology in a way that the company hadn't leveraged technology in the past. And so one of the biggest and I think most exciting things that we saw happen at SkillPath was the virtual instructor-led training, where we use a platform similar to this, whether it's Zoom or Teams or something similar, where we have not a static webinar, but we have an instructor that is still facilitating the class, but we're using technology to deliver that same content. And maybe instead of it being, think of your more meaty topics, emotional intelligence as an example, instead of that being a 2 or a 3 day course, how can we take the bulk of that material and how can we get that down to, say, a 3 or a 4 hour block of content that we can deliver using technology like this?
So how much of your business went back to doing the seminar type in person versus how much stayed with the technology?
So we only back in April or May of this last year did we return to the public seminars. And
wow,
to be truthful, we really only did that because of public demand. The popularity and the uptake in delivering these virtual instructor-led trainings and our enterprise solutions, going out and, if you've got a company and you want us to, instead of delivering our content where, we've got the SkillPath red and black colors, and we call in our training, we refer to employees as employees. You want to use your green and blue colors, and you refer to your employees as associates. We've always done that. But the virtual instructor-led, that's been our bread and butter now for the last 2.5 years. In May, as I said, we returned to some of these public seminars. We'll never go back to those days where at any given day in the year, or any given week, I should say, in the year, there's probably 30 to 40 seminars going on around the globe somewhere that SkillPath is doing. That's probably not going to happen again. What we're planning for right now is continuing to do seminars in our most popular locations, where have we traditionally drawn crowds to, and what content can we continue to get out there and get in front of people with.
What are the popular locations? I think I've
The big places, New York, Miami, Dallas, Atlanta,
Poughkeepsie,
Chicago.
What about San Diego? Is that one of them?
I have not heard San Diego mentioned recently, but I would think San Diego would be a popular place. If not, I want to go there.
It's a big conference city because I believe they have the best like the big conferences. They have the best conference place because it's that right there on the ocean. It's my favorite one.
My favorite.
A lot of the marketing conferences are held there. You know, we demand a lot of us marketing people. We're a little high maintenance. Here, okay, so Michelle is the CEO, and she said we are a much stronger company today than we've ever been. It's crazy how we say we used to do things, right? And it was like 3 years ago, but doesn't it feel like it was like we're talking about like 100 years ago sometimes, the way we used to do things? I'm always like, what is going on? And how long have you been with SkillPath?
Coming on 3 years.
Oh, so you got there right during COVID.
Ooh. Hey.
Yep.
What was that transition like?
Yeah.
You know, actually it was interesting because part of the employees were still very much 100% remote. Part of the employees were back in the office. We were not all back in the office when I joined the organization. So to experience the company going through that particular transition, coming back into work, writing the return to the office policy and dealing with that change, which, you know, I've led mergers and acquisitions most of my career for healthcare, different healthcare organizations. So change management, I'm okay with. This was a different kind of change. You know, this was something that, at least for me, it felt employees took this change to be far more personal than any change that they have undergone as it related to their work. And because it was more personal, it was a lot tougher to give up, if you will. That working from home 5 days a week was a lot tougher to give up. And so to go through that and see how people responded to it and adapted again to coming back into the office and doing the hybrid thing, that was interesting.
Are
and
you hybrid still? Are you hybrid now, or are you all in the office?
We're hybrid now. We have some of our workforce that is fully remote.
Cool. Well, thank you for joining us. I've been keeping my eye on you guys. I didn't know you dropped the seminar. I think if you dropped that, we should get that off your letterhead, but that's just the branding girl over here talking.
All right. Well, last but certainly not least, we have Abraham, and is it Sisay?
Yeah, it's Sisay.
Sisay, nice to meet you. Thanks for joining us today. Tell me everything. I want the 411. Who are you? Where? What do you do? And how did you get here?
Yeah, it's actually my second time here now, so thank you for having me again. I moved here from Gambia. It's in West Africa about almost 11 years ago now. So I consider myself as a Kansas Cityan. I've traveled, all over the U.S., but I always come back to Kansas City because I have a son here, and also it's cheaper here, honestly. I currently, I'm working on a different project called the Freedom Project, but I'm transitioning to a startup called Foorum, which is a streaming platform that I developed while working on the Freedom Project. And it's basically a combination of, if you were to put Netflix and Masterclass together with BetterHelp, so that we basically help people match them to a therapist by looking at their watching, their watching histories and the way that they consume content, and then match them to a therapist that matches that. Because one thing that we've been able to discover during the Freedom Project was that, writers write stories about things that they're going through. Usually it's a personal story, family, some trauma that they're going through. And those categories match perfectly to a therapist. Like, there's literally a therapist that specializes with every story that's being told today. Usually people or patients don't know who to contact. So we're hoping to become that bridge through Forum now to match them through that. And my background, I've always been in entertainment, film. I've worked in advertising, and I made the transition to mental health due to my own story with therapy. I used to have a really bad stutter, and me going to therapy, I was able to learn that it was a manifestation of all the trauma that I went through as a kid. It was, which was mind blowing that trauma could, literally manifest into a stutter. But I had no idea until when I saw a therapist about 8 years ago, and then realized that this is the work that I should be doing. So basically, everything I learned in media, film distribution, now I apply that into mental health. So Freedom Project Forum, they're the same, but the Freedom Project is designed as a project where we can do legislation, we can work with schools, we can do documentaries around storytelling, and then the forum is acting as the call to action. So yeah.
Okay, I have a question here. So the
Mhm.
therapist, when you're matching, I'm obsessed with this. Are you matching them with therapists that work under your entity,
Mhm.
or just with any therapist? Like, how does that work?
No, yeah, good, great question. So for the past 5 years, I've been having therapists join my platform as partners, and then on forum itself, we actually open a pool of equity for the first 500 therapists. So the therapists that are coming in, they're coming in as a partner, and then we're localizing the whole process so that each and every state that we are matching people, we'll be matching them to those people within their own community. Because BetterHelp usually just match you with a random person, and somehow they've been able to pull off, getting a license that covers, thousands of therapists. However, that basically created a lot of problems for the people that are needing help right now, and don't really know who to talk to. So there's a lot of stigma that's being built, even though it's a great solution. So I'm trying to localize the whole process where when you live in Kansas City, you will be matched with someone from Kansas City. But we kind of nudge that process, because I was forced to go see a therapist, and it wasn't the greatest experience ever. But somehow, I opened my mind to it, and my son was involved, and I was like, I would do this. Maybe I'm the problem. I'm toxic, because as a former entertainment person, like music, film, I had a very interesting ego with a very bad attitude. So I decided to go see a therapist, and the process was super long and very frustrating, very expensive. I remember the intake process was very, tedious. I talked to 3 different therapists, not realizing, none of them was the right therapist, until I found someone in Kansas City who happened to be a Black woman and understand where I was coming from. And then also, was able to help me even identify that I had trauma. But to me, someone told me I had anxiety, someone told me, I had PTSD and all of these different things. And then eventually I found someone that actually understood me. And then I feel like mental health, it's very crucial for people that are seeking help to find someone that understands their own experience. So I figured forum will be a perfect platform for me to, I've always been in film, and I've also written films. I've done almost 15 different films that I produced in my past, and they've all have been me telling my story as the little boy, that the way that I was raised. All of my films have been rooted in all of the things that I've been through. And then that's when I made the connection by working with other writers and seeing that we're all just very traumatized, writing about different concept of trauma in so many different variation, and we are all just running away from something. And I figured I would create a platform where we can, use AI to listen to what people are watching, because that's what Facebook is doing, Instagram. They're using technology to understand our human behavior, the reason why we keep clicking on the same thing over and over again, because subconsciously, it's telling us something. We're gravitating towards that. So I'm hoping with the technology we can do that.
Okay, let me ask you,
well.
because you're doing it in Kansas City, does that mean that you'll have the option to do either virtual or in-person therapy?
Yes, it's a hybrid platform. But we're hoping to recommend in person. That's why we are localizing the whole process.
You think
But
it's
not,
more effective in person?
I mean, it worked for me better in person, and I've talked to a lot of other people, and it worked better, in person, because virtual, even though it creates access to that therapist and quick solution, but at the end of the day, I feel like we are all craving that human connection, and we're lacking that right now. And this is all awesome, but at the end of the day, when we meet in person, we can connect in so many different levels that we don't even understand. And that's why I love Keystone. I like going there every Wednesday. I'm there literally all the time at this point. It doesn't even make sense, because I enjoy being there. and feeling everyone's energy, and seeing people that I see literally every Wednesday, and then so I'm trying to create those same like experiences where we can get to meet other people that can help us in our own human like experiences. So but yeah.
Well, not to throw off your data, but I feel like I'm a lot more effective in virtual therapy.
Yeah, that's fair. A lot of people are.
Lady, but just for your data points. Well,
Right.
that is amazing. That's really amazing. I didn't know you had made that shift.
No, thank you. I mean, it was all just me just finding that from listening to like comments, because I did a panel with UMKC and their like psychology students, and like one of the girls just stated that it would be a lot easier if we have a platform that can just listen to us, because TikTok is doing that. I was like, oh crap, like that's awesome. And also, I'm very old. I didn't realize kids had so much insight in that avenue of like, listen to us, because we actually have some value that we bring. And then also another comment on social media who also suggested that it will be super helpful if we can start the whole mental health journey at a very young age. And that's why we are working on legislation on the Freedom Project to pass a bill that's going to make it a requirement for the public school system to learn about mental health. So all of it is happening on the Freedom Project. So Forum is the newest avenue that I'm just adding as a call to action.
Well, they're learning about mental health. They're learning it on TikTok.
Exactly.
So they're already kind of doing that. So we should, they want to do it. Amazing panel today. All of you are doing amazing work. Which I agree.
Thank you, Amanda.
So, which makes this next question, our Burns and McDonnell question of the day, even more amazing. So are you guys ready for this?
Yeah.
Here we go. Celeste, as soon as he's done asking, just jump into your answer. And actually, why don't we have a lot of people watching today. So if you're watching, answer this question in the comments too. I'd love to see what some of your answers are.
Hi, my name's Eric Heidenreich. I'm an engineering recruiter with Burns and McDonnell, looking for the best talent every day. How do you want to be described at your retirement party?
Ooh.
Good. Go for it, Celeste.
All right. I guess I want to be described at my retirement party as a helper. Yeah, I know that sounds silly, but I really love to help. Help in any way I can, help learn, help my community, help my children, just help. It's what feeds me. So it feeds my soul. So if they say, well, Celeste really helped, even if it's one person, I really, and traveled. Celeste has helped, traveled, and has continued to travel.
I like it.
So those are the things.
How about you, Father Justin?
So kind of in order of importance, I would hope that people would think that I was a great husband and a great dad to my 3 kids, number one. Number two, I would hope that people felt that I was helping to extend mercy to those who needed it most, and was a good representative of God's love for our neighbor. And then lastly, I would hope that people felt like that the work that I did was entrepreneurial and fresh, and was inspiring to them to go do the same in their life.
I love that. Brad?
Well,
that's a tough one. I think probably that he knew his stuff when it came to HR. He did it with compassion. He did it with empathy. He, at the same time, did it without abandoning his faith.
You want to see what Michelle would say? We're very lucky to have Brad. He deals with all the tough problems. Jason said that earlier, but we were already, by the time, there's like a 20-second delay between comments.
High praise from Michelle. Yes, Brad. And Abraham.
Yeah, so I actually named my son Mercy, Father Justin, because I was in a situation where I felt like I wasn't like providing that to people, and vice versa. So I figured I would name my son Mercy, so that he can always remember that, and also whenever he meets anyone, they'll hopefully have mercy towards him. So that's something that I apply, especially, as someone, as an entrepreneur in Kansas City. I found myself in some of the craziest situations. I just had an event canceled to July 28th at the conference center 2 days before the event. And then somehow everyone was just merciful. Like, people literally were calling me, even till today. I got a call from T-Mobile just checking in to make sure I was okay. I was like, oh, cool. Thanks, guys. So, that's one thing that I want to be known for, because, now that people are showing me that, I want to be able to show that to people. And also on a selfish level, I want to make sure that I'm the freest human who ever lived, whatever that means. That's why I created a Freedom Project. So I live with that reminder to be completely free, but by serving other people. So I'm still figuring all this out.
Love it. How about you, Michael?
Funny, fair.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That's it. Just funny and fair. That's it.
Funny and fair.
Amy said, the glue behind the scene that helped keep us all together, a kind individual who never knew a stranger and had the zest for all the fun in all she did. I'm having a hard time reading today. And Elizabeth said she elevated all the voices in our organization to make us stronger as a team. We knew who was going to make the inbound pass, bring the ball up the court, make the pass, take the shot, rebound, and start the play again. These are good. You guys are so good at this.
These are good.
All right, listen, we have a few minutes left. So let's talk about, first of all, how are we in mid-August? I don't understand it. Time's like in a warp for me. But where are we on our 2023 goals? And what are we planning for to wrap up the year and head into the new year?
Yes, Celeste, where are you going the rest of the year, and what does 2024 look like?
Well, my 2023 goal is to get even better at training, so I can just get comfortable with both hiring and training, so I can grow relief and help more people out of pain that way, because I can only treat so many people. And what was the second part of that question?
What's next? What does 2024 look like?
Oh, 2024, it looks like 2 more locations.
Oh, look at you. You're going to be a chain.
I say we knew her when.
Knew her when, yes. Father Justin, what does the rest of your year look like? And more importantly, what does next year look like?
Yeah, goals this year have been really good. We completed a new strategic plan, 1, 3, 5, and 10-year vision. We launched a new workforce development cohort that's centered on mental health and trauma-informed care. And so helping our neighbors to get jobs and to heal at the same time, combining those two. And then next year, obviously, we're just super excited about relaunching Thelma's Kitchen and getting into our renovated building at 31st and Troost. So huge goals going into next year, lots of change management, lots of opportunity for growth and engagement in the community.
Another goal is to invite me for that bacon, chicken, avocado sandwich that you were hyping earlier. So I'm just
You don't have to wait. You just go to thelmaskitchen.org right now, and you can order it, and I will deliver it personally to you.
Hey, sold, done. That's
Michael,
awesome.
let's use them for our next event catering.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Brad, what does the rest of your year look like, and what are your goals for 2024?
Well, the rest of my year, unfortunately, I've got to get a much overdue knee replaced. So that's not going to be fun.
You're going to be bionic, Brad.
Yeah, when it's all done, you count up all the different body parts. Yeah. Remember, Michael, you're not old enough to remember the $6 Million Man, but Father Justin, maybe you do. But anyway, the rest of the year, we've just recently, SkillPath has launched a learning management system, an LMS, and it's taken off like gangbusters. And so I've got the lovely task of making sure that we are staffed up and have all of the right seats, all of the right bodies in the right seats, so that we can continue to grow. We've been growing, and we need to continue that growth. And the LMS is going to help us do that, and our certificate programs, which are doing just fantastically. You know, we're owned by Graceland University up in Lamoni, Iowa, and with that certificate program that is a part of Graceland University, that's really taken off, and so there's a lot of excitement around those as well. So just making sure that recruiting is going well, and we've got everybody engaged and all of us marching in the right direction.
Amy wants you to know she knows who Lee Majors is.
Good.
Hey, Lindsay Wagner, the Bionic Woman. It was a whole thing. It was a good few years, right? That was a good run. All right, Abraham, you are bringing up the rear. What does the rest of the year look like? And more importantly, what does 2024 have on tap?
Yeah, I mean, 2023 was looking really good until July 25th, when everything dropped. So, which I'm taking it as like another learning experience. But the goal by the end of the year is to launch Forum. We've basically finished everything, and then I had some really aggressive goal, but due to what happened, so I need to scale down a little bit. And actually take a break myself. So that's my goal. So I've actually been off for the past 3 weeks, which has been nice. I've been home drinking, I haven't had coffee in 2 weeks, so maybe that will be a problem when I start again. And now I'm only drinking like orange juice and water, actually healthy orange juice, and so I'll be back to work, in like next month. So that's nice. I haven't taken a break in probably 8 years, so it's been nice. But 2024, after we launch Forum in November, the goal is to reach 1 billion people in 10 years with the platform. So, I think we can do that. We're building some really aggressive partnerships, out in LA. So, those are going pretty well. I just need to make sure that I'm mentally and physically healthy before going back into it. So, because I wasn't until this event cancellation, which has been a good thing because I would have just been working after the event. But now I'm taking time to hang out with my son. I've been sleeping more, eating more, drinking orange juice, just enjoying my boringness. It's been pretty cool.
You're like a big fan of orange juice.
It's good,
Abraham, say orange juice one more time.
Orange juice. No, I have like 3 bottles in the fridge right now. I've been having fun. I put ice and orange juice.
Listen, when you go back to coffee, I know a place called Thelma's Kitchen. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. We should go there and get a coffee. Well, we'll take Celeste and Brad. Brad can buy. Okay, is that cool?
Awesome. Yeah, I'm down.
Let's do it.
Yep.
On board.
Abraham, how old is your son?
He's 5. I'll show you guys a picture if you don't mind.
Oh, we don't mind at all.
Yeah.
You seem like a very proud father.
Oh yeah, I came from a
Does he like
very
orange
very
juice
big
too?
family. Oh yeah, he loves orange juice. I have to hide mine, or else he will try to like eat it.
Well, you know what they say, that orange doesn't fall far
That's
from
him.
the orange tree. That's what they say.
I don't know what you can see. The camera is not focusing. There you go.
Yeah,
Hey.
Oh, you went dark. You went black.
Nope. This is
There we
great.
go.
That's him.
Cute.
Yeah, cool.
Adorable.
Thanks for entertaining that.
Awesome. Oh, and Amanda wants to come with you guys to coffee.
Amanda, whatever you want. Brad's buying, so we're good.
Okay, real quick before I tell our panelists thank you, I'm going to do something that I never, ever, ever do on the show, but Scott's not here, and really I'm the boss, but let's pretend like we're breaking the rules because he's not here. So, Michael, the whole reason that we started this show, that Scott and I started this show in 2020 during lockdown, was because we were really passionate about people growing their personal brands, which I think there's been quite a few people on this show that have made some amazing connections. I know that there's been a lot of people on this show that have made, we've had over 650 guests through the past 3 years, and they've made some really amazing connections. And a lot of times this was their first step into personal branding or putting themselves out there. Michael and I do work together for over almost the whole 7 years I've been in business. People have asked us, what do you guys do for personal branding? And we've always kind of just been like, well, we can do some stuff if your company comes on, but we really didn't have an answer. So I want you to do a 30-second commercial about what we launched this week, technically on Thursday, what we launched, Michael, just because you do it so much better. And so people, if they're looking to grow their personal brand, because it is so important, so they can reach out to you as well. So go.
Hey, so here's the deal. If you have a company and you're the face of it, you need to build your personal brand behind the scenes. Everything that you need to do to put yourself out there, whether that's shameless, blatant promotion, whether that's just getting the word out, whether that's elevating or enhancing your name, that is what we are doing. We are building your personal brand from the ground up. Or if you're already established, we're taking that and running with it and making you just that much more recognizable in and around the community and online.
And online. So it's officially a service we're offering, and it just launched last week. In fact, if you're on our email list, you'll see it come out tomorrow. So this is kind of a like a
Sneaky
pre. That's
peeky.
the video we were talking about earlier. You know, we're in marketing. We're teasing it out all week. So anyways, I didn't tell you we were going to do that, but I wanted to do that just because I think it is so important to grow your personal brand. I love that everybody's been commenting today. If you ever watch the show, comment. We will pull up your comment. That's a baby step in growing your personal brand. There's so many people that have connected over here in the comments throughout the years. I mean, at some point, Scott and I say we're going to start telling the stories of all the emails that we get for the show, but it's been really exciting to watch all the business happen. Here's the deal.
I joke about the if a tree falls in the woods and no one hears it, did it really fall? Well, it's the same thing with personal branding. If you do all these amazing things and no one knows about it, did you really do them? So if you want to put yourself out there, yeah.
Right.
We got you. So reach out to Michael if you want to talk about that. I want to thank Celeste. I want to thank Father Justin. I want to thank Brad. And I want to thank Abraham. Thank you so much for coming on here. Please connect with them. All of their names are right here on the post. So Elizabeth, I see your suggestion. I'll let you know why on our call, why I don't. We've tried it a million different ways, but they are all connected right here on the LinkedIn post if you're watching on LinkedIn. So go connect with them, follow them, support their work. We're going to book that Thelma's Kitchen Catering because that salad sounds amazing.
Amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you to Burns and McDonnell. Thank you to Bank of Blue Valley. And Michael, thank you so much for co-hosting with me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Okay, guys, we will see you same time, same place next week. Bye.
Thank you.